Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about the 5 quirks about my BMW 335i. Let's get right into the video.
I'm OG, y'all new to the game.
So the first quirk about this car are the hilariously bad seatbelt catchers that BMW decided to implement into this car. And these are only specifically for the coupe models, the E92 and I believe E93 generation, which is the convertible as well. But yeah, basically you're about to see like what I mean in the next clip, and yeah, they're pretty funny. Now you guys are probably like, what the hell? So yeah, these are what I was talking about, the seatbelt catchers, and they are pretty freaking bad. And as you can see, they are useless. They didn't catch the seatbelt, and they pretty much never do. They're kind of flimsy and cheap, and I mean, I guess they blend in nicely when they're not actually poking out from the little port that they come from. But yeah, they're really not that great. And it's hilarious too, because anybody that's never sat in this car, that's never driven with me in this car or driven my car before, they get like freaked out by it when they see this like little arm that's extending kind of like over their shoulder and they see it from their peripheral. It's hilarious to watch. Now, the second quirk about this car would have to be the location of the door lock/unlock button. Now, everybody that's pretty much driven my car before or sat in it or whatnot have always had no idea where the lock/unlock button was, because conventionally it's generally on the door panel on the driver's side. Now with BMW on the E92 generation, it's not. It's actually located right over here on the dash next to the dynamic traction control button and the hazards. This is it right here, this button. Now when I press that, as you can see, it just locked the driver's side. Press it again and unlocks it. I think BMW did this due to security reasons. I feel like if someone were to break in, it would just be harder to locate that button, or I don't know. I'm not really entirely sure. I just have a feeling that there was a security or like safety reason involved for that. So the third quirk about this car would have to be the lack of a conventional oil dipstick, and I'll show you guys what I mean in just a second right now. Now, as you guys can see, there's no dipstick located anywhere. There isn't one in the engine bay, and there is no mechanical way to check your oil. There's no simple dipstick where you can actually physically see. There's no tangible piece which you can actually check the oil with. In order to check your oil, you actually have to check it on board with the sensor that BMW implemented, located by pressing on this button, the BC button, and then after pressing that, toggling up towards his oil, pressing the BC button again, and then checking your oil from there. And that's how you can see it. Now, in addition to that, you can also check that if you have the iDrive, you can also press the menu button down here, then press information. Following that, you want to go to the left to info sources, down to service info, and then down one to engine oil, and you can also check it right there as well. Now, I personally wish that BMW would just put a mechanical dipstick, because you never know, these sensors could go bad or something could happen, and that could be potentially catastrophic to the car. Obviously, you don't want to be driving the car with no oil or very bad oil. That could be problematic. And sorry about the service engine soon light, you guys. It's due to my valve cover gasket, I believe. I haven't hooked it up to the code reader yet. It just threw me a code last night. So on to the fourth quirk about this car, and that has to be this very strange little temperature knob, which I'm going to flip the camera right now to show you guys, and I'll explain what it does in just a second. So as you can see right here, this little knob, I actually had no idea what the hell it did. And you would think like, oh, well, you know, it just changes the air from hot to cold or something like that. Well, that doesn't make sense, because down here you have all your climate controls, and you can individually adjust the temperature, and you have all your climate settings from here. You can also do it on the iDrive screen as well. So what is this piece for? So I looked on the forums, and pretty much I guess what it does is it's a way to kind of fine-tune your climate. So basically, if you're running the heat and you want the heat but it's still a little bit too hot, you can slide this over to the left, and then I guess it'll like bring in ventilated air, which is I guess slightly cooler. Something like that. It's basically a slider which allows you to kind of fine-tune the air temperature within the cabin of the vehicle. And I think that's really odd, to be honest, because you can individually adjust the temperature with these knobs right here, I mean, you can fine tune it pretty much down to each degree of Fahrenheit, and you have dual zone climate, and you can, I mean, adjust, you know, where you want the airflow and all that kind of stuff. Why did they put this in here? Why did BMW decide to do that? I have no idea, to be honest, but it's beyond me. But hey, I guess it's kind of a cool feature, and it's another quirk about this car. Alright guys, so I'm actually back in my garage because it actually started to rain outside, but nevertheless, I have the fifth and final quirk for you guys about the BMW 335i, and that's actually going to be the paddle shifters. Now, as you guys can see, the paddle shifters on the wheel are aluminum, and they are pretty nice. They're high quality and whatnot, and they have this really nice feel to them every time you click them or push them. And you would think, you know, the left paddle is to downshift and the right paddle is to upshift, just like any other car. However, that's not the case with this car. From the 2007 to 2010 models, the paddle shifters on this car are actually different. So what you do is you pull to upshift, and then you push the paddle forward to downshift, just like that. So it doesn't matter which paddle you use, as long as you push one of them forward, you'll downshift the car, and if you push one of them backward, you'll upshift. It doesn't matter which paddle you use and whatnot. As long as you do those steps, the car will shift at your command. Now, to some people, this might be really stupid and annoying because they like the feeling of, you know, left paddles to downshift, right paddles to upshift. But at the same time, it actually is kind of cool because, you know, technically you can kind of shift with one hand. So, you know, I could be holding the wheel with one hand, you know, pull it back to upshift, and then, oh, I want to downshift, all of a sudden just push the paddle forward. So, I mean, it's not really a big deal, but it's something that's kind of neat. So yeah, anyway, you guys, that's the 5 quirks about my BMW 335i. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, as always. I apologize about my intro video being a bit loud on the volume. A couple of you guys mentioned that to me recently, and so I am going to try and work on fixing that, possibly lowering the volume so it doesn't shatter your eardrums, I guess, if you're wearing headphones or something like that. I do apologize for that once again, but anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Thank you so much, as always, for the support and the love and the likes and comments on my videos. It really does mean a lot to me, and yeah, I have tons of more videos coming soon, so stay tuned for all those, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.